So we're going to go over adding a weed control event on the website. So basically there's a few different components that are involved. Under features, you have points and polygons. Under work, you'll be adding the data through weed control or weed detection. You have to set up your taxa lists for weed control. So these are the species that'll come up in your drop-down list. So go under Edit Taxa List and then add a species that you want. And then save. There's pesticide cocktails where you can mix, where you have a list of pesticides, diluents, surfactants, and then the cocktail, which is the mix of all of them. And then you have supporting lists. So supporting lists for weed control specifically are control methods, control method types, and weed purposes. So to enter data, you can add a weed control event. So you come to the weed control works, weed control, and then if you're going to add a new event, you click Add Weed Control. Put in the date. You can either select a polygon area or you can come on the map and you can draw your weed control area. So I'm going to zoom in over here. And I'm going to change this to, say, some imagery, and I'm going to click Add Polygon. I'm going to draw a polygon. Oh, something went wrong. I'm going to draw a polygon. Save it. I'm going to click it to select it, or come over here and select it from my list. Add the survey method, control, level, weather, purpose, fill in any of these other fields, text fields. And now I can add my detections, what plants or what weeds I removed. Now, if you took weed control points previous to creating these polygons, you can actually bind them to the survey. So I can come over here and I can select from a list points, weed control detection points that I've collected, and then I can bind them to my survey. And so the first thing you need to do is actually save this before you try and bind. But once you've saved it, then you click bind, and it actually takes those points, takes the data associated with them, and adds them to the detection. And now these points are no longer unbound. They're now part of the weed detection. And if I need to add other control work, other taxa, I can do that as well. I can select the species, the action, the control method, method type, what type of cocktail I used, and enter other information. Save it. And then I can add targets as well. So these are what I went after. I can add multiple targets. So you can compare basically what you were going after versus what you got. And then you can add bulk cocktails at the survey level. So you can either add it at the individual point level. And this will tell you if you have empty required fields, and you can see that this is just a blank entry, so I can remove it. And then I can also enter my worker hours. And I can enter any photos as well. So unbound weed detections can be added on the mobile site, on the mobile app. So these are, if you have multiple people doing weed control at the same time, they can all be collecting points, and then you can aggregate them into your survey. So to do unbound weed points, you click weed detection, and you can manually add them as well. Come on the map, draw it on the map. Click your taxa, action, method, and save. And then now, if I go to my weed control event, like these will come up. So that's the web side of adding weed control. In the next video, I'll show you how to do it completely on mobile and tie it into this site.